With heart disease projected to affect 11.4 million Americans by 2050, most people focus on eliminating foods rather than strategically adding beneficial ones. Ever wondered if prevention could be simpler than the overwhelming advice we typically hear? Every 33 seconds, another American life is lost to cardiovascular disease. That's a ticking clock that doesn't slow down. And if current trends continue, experts project heart failure cases will nearly double from 6.7 million Americans today to 11.4 million by 2050. To understand how this crisis unfolds in real people, we followed 3 volunteers with varying cardiovascular risk profiles. Sarah, 42, whose family history of heart disease had her doctor concerned despite her active lifestyle. Michael, 55, whose high-stress corporate career left him with blood pressure consistently above 140/90, and Darlene, 38, whose post-pregnancy weight gain contributed to concerning cholesterol levels. Sarah's inflammatory markers were elevated, particularly her C-reactive protein, suggesting chronic arterial inflammation. Michael's echocardiogram showed early left ventricular hypertrophy, his heart working too hard with each beat. Darlene's lipid panel revealed low HDL cholesterol with high triglycerides, a dangerous combination that significantly increases heart attack risk. What we're seeing in these patients reflects a broader pattern across America, explains Dr. Elena Vasquez, cardiologist at Cleveland Heart Center. The standard American diet creates systemic cardiovascular problems. It's not just about clogged arteries, we're seeing comprehensive damage to the entire cardiovascular system. The data visualized on screen shows all 3 participants had multiple interconnected risk factors. This highlights a crucial understanding. Heart disease isn't a single problem but a system-wide failure. When Michael's blood pressure rises, it damages arterial walls, which then accumulate cholesterol. As Darlene's triglycerides increase, they trigger inflammatory responses that compromise vascular integrity. Without intervention, Michael faced a 27% chance of experiencing a cardiac event within 5 years. Sarah's markers indicated accelerating atherosclerosis despite her healthy lifestyle. Darlene's profile suggested she was approaching pre-diabetic status, further compounding her risks. These patterns contribute to heart disease's status as America's leading killer, claiming 695,000 lives annually, or 1,900 people daily, with a financial burden exceeding $229 billion yearly. But what if something as simple as eating a specific type of fish could change these outcomes? Let's see what happened when our participants added salmon to their diets twice weekly for 3 months. When our 3 participants began their salmon regimen, even our medical advisors were skeptical about how quickly meaningful changes would appear. The transformation wasn't gradual, it was dramatic. While most nutritional interventions yield subtle changes over time, salmon's effect on the cardiovascular system showed surprising speed. What happens inside your body when you eat salmon twice weekly? Our 12-week protocol tracked participants consuming 2 6-ounce servings of salmon weekly, prepared according to specific guidelines. Think of omega-3s as nature's cardiovascular lubricant. Smoothing arterial walls much like oil prevents engine parts from grinding against each other. Blood tests, pressure readings, and heart measurements were taken at baseline, week 4, week 8, and week 12. Let's examine the data that surprised even our skeptics. Michael: I honestly didn't believe adding one type of fish to my diet would make any real difference, Michael confessed during his week 2 check-in. Darlene: while Darlene mentioned she'd tried countless dietary adjustments before with minimal results. The science behind salmon's effectiveness comes from its rich EPA and DHA omega-3 fatty acids. These compounds absorb through the intestinal wall and integrate into cell membranes throughout the body, particularly in cardiovascular tissues, where they compete with pro-inflammatory compounds, effectively reducing the inflammatory cascade that drives atherosclerosis. By week 4, triglyceride levels dropped by an average of 7%, alongside unexpected improvements in endothelial function. Sarah: I feel noticeably more energetic during my daily activities, Sarah reported. By week 6, participants reported feeling less winded as their blood pressure began to decrease. Week 8 brought undeniable changes. Inflammatory markers decreased significantly in all participants, with Sarah experiencing a 22% reduction in C-reactive protein. The omega-3s improved heart rate variability, a critical indicator reflecting how well the heart adapts to changing conditions. By week 12, the salmon regimen produced average reductions of 15% in triglycerides and 8% in blood pressure. Beyond these numbers, research shows individuals consuming 2 servings of fatty fish weekly have a 36% lower risk of dying from heart disease compared to non-fish eaters. That 36% reduction in heart disease mortality is compelling, but here's the shocking reality. 2 identical-looking pieces of salmon can offer dramatically different levels of heart-protective compounds. The salmon that helped our participants achieve such remarkable cardiovascular improvements was strategically selected and prepared to maximize its therapeutic potential. Imagine standing at a fish counter, overwhelmed by conflicting advice. It turns out, the answer lies in modern aquaculture science. The conventional wisdom suggests wild salmon is always superior, more natural, more nutritious, and better for you. But our laboratory analysis revealed a far more nuanced truth. Contrary to popular belief, farmed Atlantic salmon actually contains higher levels of those precious omega-3 fatty acids than its wild counterpart. Approximately 1.7 grams per 3.5 ounces compared to 1.2 grams in wild Atlantic salmon. This finding makes sense when you understand modern aquaculture practices, which have evolved significantly over the past decade. Today's responsible salmon farms use carefully formulated feeds that combine plant-based and fish-based ingredients, deliberately designed to maximize omega-3 content. While wild salmon boasts a naturally balanced diet with better omega-3 to omega-6 ratios, the farmed counterpart, nurtured on crafted feeds, packs a more potent omega-3 punch. Our analysis showed participants selecting high-quality farmed salmon had cardiovascular improvements comparable to those choosing wild varieties, provided they prepared it correctly. Cooking method dramatically affected outcomes. Laboratory testing confirmed that preparation can either preserve or destroy valuable omega-3s. When participants used high-heat cooking methods like frying, we measured omega-3 losses ranging from 70 to 85%, essentially wiping out most heart-protective benefits. Participants showing the most significant improvements in cardiovascular markers consistently used gentler cooking methods. Baking salmon at 200 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes preserved most omega-3 content, while steaming offered similar preservation benefits. Deep frying resulted in the lowest retention of valuable fatty acids. Microwaving proved surprisingly effective, but only with lower power settings and shorter cooking times. This method works by limiting exposure to excessive heat while cooking quickly. Moving to less favorable options, canning destroys most omega-3 content, making it poor from a heart health perspective. Deep frying represented the worst choice. Beyond adding unhealthy fats, it creates perfect conditions for omega-3 destruction. Extremely high temperatures, prolonged cooking times, and interactions with oxidizing oils. The difference in outcomes was measurable. Participants who consistently used optimal methods showed more significant improvements in their cardiovascular markers than those using high-heat cooking. We've witnessed remarkable transformations in our participants' cardiovascular health through strategic salmon consumption. Remember Sarah's reduced blood pressure and Michael's improved cholesterol levels? Their journeys show the power of omega-3 fatty acids in reducing irregular heartbeats and decreasing inflammation throughout the body. The formula is simple: 8 to 12 ounces of omega-3 rich fish weekly. This guideline is especially important for pregnant women supporting fetal brain development. If fish isn't your preference, consider plant options like flax seeds, though they convert less efficiently. When purchasing, look for MSC or ASC certifications for sustainable sourcing. We invite you to begin your own heart health journey today. 2 properly prepared salmon meals weekly could transform your cardiovascular future. The power to protect your heart is waiting on your plate. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share to someone you love. Thank you very much for watching.